So today's gonna be like a yin flow, like meaning we're gonna go from one pose into another pose into another pose before the other side. So nothing too strenuous, but it's very grounding. So we're working on those first and second chakras. So those first two down there. So if you feel like repeating those sounds of the head, you can do that as we're going through those. So I'm gonna let you know which meridians are affected, which chakras are affected. So I'm gonna be explaining that as we go into this. So the first side, a little bit more talking, the second side, a little more grounding, and so find a comfortable seated position where you can be for about 2 minutes. And take a nice full inhale and let it go. Allow yourself to ride into the space, onto your mat, and into your body. Starting to connect with the sounds, the smells, the temperature, maybe any other energies in the room with you. Just allow yourself to become more present with every passing moment. Taking a full inhale here. Allow yourself to scan over your body. Start at your toes and work your way up through your legs, your hips, through the spine, chest, and back. Through the shoulders, the arms, the hands. All the way upwards to your head. Really stand over, notice where you are today. Notice where you're holding any tension and see if with each little exhale, you can allow that to breathe. Taking an inhale here. And let it go. Tap into that mental, emotional body. Acknowledge where your thoughts are, what emotions are attached to those thoughts. With each one of those, the validity, a little bit of loving kindness. So allowing yourself to hold on to what is positive and let go to whatever's going to distract you from the practice. Just allow yourself to become more and more present in your body, with your breath, in this present moment. Forward. And let it go. Bring one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly. If you have an intention to allow you to become more grounded, more centered, more in the present moment. Allow that intention to settle into this practice as we move through and become more grounded, more centered. I'm paying attention, building that awareness to that mind and that body. We'll set that intention with collective home or side of the breath. Exhale fully here. Inhale. Slowly releasing those hands and transition into your first pose of child's pose. So we'll be here for about 3 minutes. So using any props you need to, if you need to pad your knees, if you need to place a block under your hips. But start to lengthen out. Just lengthen out at the beginning, sitting the hips back with your elbows under your shoulders. Just kind of pause there, notice how that feels. If you feel like you need a little bit more support, maybe your forehead drops to your block. And then kind of see how it feels for the arms. Maybe arms go wide. Maybe they go up overhead. Maybe they go back toward your feet today. Just kind of notice what your body needs here. And then start to settle into that stillness. So finding a position that you can be in for 3 minutes here. Allow that stillness to start to take hold. And in the child's pose, we're definitely targeting the ankles and knees, the hips. Targeting the spine. And then different meridians that we're affecting. We pretty much have all of the chakras being affected here. The different meridians that are most specifically are the spleen and the stomach, which run along the front side of the body, so they're getting contracted. And then you have the meridians, those energy channels on the back side, the kidney and urinary bladder, that are getting affected by expanding a little bit. Notice if you can start to feel that energy bringing you more and more into the present moment. As you continue to just notice the sensations that are happening in the body. Your thoughts get distracted, pulling you away from that intention of being grounded and centered. Give that thought a little loving kindness. And bring it back to the sensations happening in the body. About 1 more minute here. And taking a full inhale here. And let it go. Mindfully draw those hands back underneath the shoulders. And then slowly start to press yourself forward onto those hands and knees. And then come to a seated position. Any seated position, either cross legs or legs extended, and just pause. Close the eyes for a moment. Just notice those sensations in the body. Notice how the front side releases, maybe feel a bit more sensation in the hips, knees, shins. And then take a moment leaning back into those hands and rock those legs from side to side a little. Just kind of opening up the front body, maybe even rolling the shoulders back from the fingers. So from here, we're going to go into our next pose of Gomukhasana. So you're going to take your right leg, place that over your left, and slide that right knee or hip, sorry, ankle, as far back as you can to your hip. Let's see how that feels. And then if today, if this feels good, you can stay here. If it's going to feel okay, draw that opposite leg back. And again, readjust. Let's see how that feels. If that does not feel good, take that bottom leg back out. You have blocks if you want. You can stay upright, or you can start to lengthen forward. All right. Sometimes I like to even take my blanket or bolster and kind of roll it in my belly just to get that spleen and stomach and meridians a little bit more, and then round kind of over that as I drop my head. So your head can be attached to something or it can be free flowing. Just kind of settle in here. So again, we're going to be here for about 3 minutes. So here, affecting in those legs with that different contraction in the legs. We have the kidney, the liver, the gallbladder, and the urinary bladder all affected in this place. For anybody that does have any extra padding or whatnot in between their thighs and their belly, they're affecting that stomach and that spleen again as well. And the meridians that are affected here, the first and the second. That's root chakra, that sacral chakra, those grounding chakras. And that energy at the base of our spine. Settling into that stillness, just kind of noticing those softer tissues. Getting into the joints, the knees, the ankles, the hips. Taking a full inhale here. And let it go. Slowly bring yourself up to seated. So staying here for a moment, just noticing that sensation. And we're going to go right into the next pose. So that top leg, that right leg is going to lift up and bring it out toward one end of your mat. Slide that bottom leg back so you're on one foot and one knee. Maybe again, you might need to pad the knees. And then walk that front foot forward so you can lengthen forward into the ledge. So the back leg's going to be untouched. You're going to lengthen yourself forward. And again, you can stay on your hands. Back knees on the ground. And then maybe elbows to the ground, maybe elbows to blocks, maybe forehead to a block. And feel free to take that right leg as wide as you need, so there's no clenching sensation at the top of the thigh. Again, see if you can settle in for stillness. So in this low lunge, we're definitely targeting that hips, front and back, knees, a little bit those shoulders while you're supporting yourself. Again, first and second chakras are still being stimulated. Same meridians, except getting a little bit into that liver meridian runs along the inside. One more minute here. You can allow your breath to become a little bit more softer, a little bit more awareness to what happens in the body. Taking a full inhale here. Let it go. Mindfully make your way back up to your hands. And then hopefully your blocks are nearby. Have those nearby. So we're going to transition to downward dog, but take One block on the low level, one on the high level, and then you can adjust it from there. You're gonna press into your hand, and you're gonna slowly slide that front leg back. So you're on your hands and knees. And then tuck those toes, lift to the downward dog, set those blocks, then they're gonna slide underneath your forehead so that your forehead can press onto that block. Give a little bit of support for this downward dog. Your forehead's pressing down onto the block, your hands are still supporting you. Just noticing those sensations in the body there. Breathing. A little bit more of a energetic pose, that downward dog, but allow that head to be rested. Really stimulates that parasympathetic system, that down regulating that grounding system. It also then stimulates that 6th and 7th chakra in the body, up by the head. Just a few more moments here. Nice full inhale here. And let it go. Slowly bring those knees to the ground. And then bring your hips to the ground. Extending the legs or keeping them crossed. And then just pausing there for a moment. Just notice the effects of that little set series. We're going to do that same series on the second side. Just kind of take notes of what happened or did not happen. Notice where the mind went. Trying to be that observer of the body, mind, and breath. And then we'll transition into that second side. So that left leg is going to come over the right. Draw that leg in. See that how that top knee feels first. See how that's feeling. If it feels okay, bottom leg is going to bend and come in into full Gomukhasana, or shoelace pose, I would say. Sorry, shoelace pose. And then just going to settle in here that first round. So again, your head can rest on a block. You can wrap anything you want into that belly. And start to round forward if it feels good. If it doesn't feel good, stay upright. And settle in. Just take a few moments just to notice the body here. Notice if you're gripping your legs in any little bit. Try to relax through the muscles. Let yourself just soften into the pose. Notice those little subtle shifts in the body as you breathe. So you can settle into that stillness. taking a full inhale here. And let it go. Slowly start to bring yourself back up to center. Just take a moment there. Just notice the sensation. We'll transition to that lunge, so mindfully bring that front leg up, no rush. That top leg is gonna go one direction on your back, so your bottom leg is gonna slide back into that lunge position. And then feel free to take that left leg as wide as you need. Again, maybe you start on blocks, just kind of check in. Let yourself kind of surrender into this pose. As you feel that edge lessen, so that little intensity, that discomfort, as it starts to lessen, you can deepen into the pose a little bit. Just kind of notice as you do get a little bit deeper, if you can soften anywhere, especially the jaw and the tongue. You tend to hold a little bit more tension there. You relax through those areas. Maybe even allow that pelvis to relax. All those muscles engaged around there, letting those hips drop a little closer to the mat, finding that grounding sensation. Gently soften through the shoulders any little bit. And once you've found that edge where you can stay and breathe, just be curious about that discomfort. Find that stillness. Taking a full inhale here. Let it go. Slowly bring yourself back up to your hands. Very slowly. Slowly transition that front leg back. And then taking those blocks once again, stack them so you can find that downward dog. And then press back into downward dog. Allowing your forehead to rest on those blocks. Feeling the support of those blocks on your forehead. Allowing those shoulders to feel the support of the arms. The knees can be as bent or as straight as you need to feel that support in downward dog. Just take a nice few deep breaths. Getting that calming effect of having your head supported. Feeling the length of the spine. Maybe a little more deepness of your breath. Just a few more moments here. Take a full inhale here. Exhale fully. Slowly transition back towards seated. Mindfully sitting in any position that feels good. Just pausing, noticing the effects of that. Just kind of notice any little energetic shifts in the body. Any little thoughts that have shifted in the mind. And then take those hands, bring them back behind you, bend your knees, widen those legs, just do a little windshield wiper legs for a moment. Releasing that pose. And then from here, we're gonna go into deer pose. So we're gonna start with our left leg forward. And then once you get toward that left leg being forward on the mat, go ahead and allow that left foot to be forward, your right leg's gonna be out toward the side. And then just kind of noticing if you can get your front leg in a nice 90-degree angle, your back leg in a 90-degree angle. And I'm just gonna go this way. So. Good. And then from here, just pause, just sit up. Right like this, and just notice, like you're gonna feel this back hip probably. And again, if it feels too much to sit up, you can lengthen that opposite, that same hand and go like this forward, that left hand down, and just kind of lean into it. So we're trying to get though into this hip here. So you want to try and lift up just so you kind of feel that stress in that side. We're just going to be here for a minute. We're going to take a couple different stages of this pose. So if you don't really feel that sensation in that back hip, you can always slide that back knee away from you a little bit more. For me, I feel this a lot. So I don't know what it's like not to feel it. So again, this deer pose. It affects the gallbladder, the kidney, the liver, the stomach, and the spleen. Again, we have that first and second chakras being targeted. And then from here, you're going to lift yourself up, kind of lengthen your center of your chest toward the center of your knee, forward. And start to lengthen yourself toward that knee. So you might be able to come up with your hands straight. Maybe your elbows rest on blocks. Maybe your elbows rest on the floor, but your chest is coming toward that knee. And try to relax the back leg. If it's okay for the neck, just let that head drop down. Let your head be heavy, let a little bit of it, that flexion of the neck happen. Starting the hips, the shoulders, the spine. Hopefully not too much of those knees. Taking a full inhale here. press yourself back. Then from here, we're going to go into sleeping swan. So taking that front leg first, drawing that front leg in, and then taking that back leg, shift it back, and then roll yourself over. So you're kind of on that front shin a little bit. Again, if you need padding underneath your back, you can do that. And then slowly start to lengthen yourself. So maybe that back heel today is pressing into that inner groin on the opposite side. So your left leg forward, maybe it's pressing into that right inner groin. And again, if your head reaches the ground, no problem. If it needs a block, no problem. If you need to stay on your elbows, no problem. Just find your edge. So here in this sleeping swan, targeting the ankle, the knee, the hip of that front leg. Targeting the low back a little bit, shoulders. Different meridians we're affecting, the back side of the body, that kidney, that liver, the front side of the body, the spleen and stomach. Getting into those areas of the gallbladder and the urinary bladder, putting on sideways into the pelvis. Once again, still focusing on that grounding sensation of the first and second chakras. Feeling that pelvis get heavy, feeling that energy start to really emerge and become more present in that first and second chakra. That bright red and orange colors at the base of your spine and right there below the belly button. Taking a full inhale here. And let it go. Slowly start to bring yourself back up. Roll over toward that left side. Start to take the back leg forward. Come all the way up to a little tuck position. Draw both knees forward and just kind of round forward over those. Let your head drop down to your knees. And just pause there for a moment. And slowly bring those hands back behind you. Extend the legs long. Just kind of notice those sensations in the legs. Notice what sensations you have on the right side compared to the left side. Say hello to your leg. Hopefully you're okay with that. He's very nice. He's just looking for pot time. And then once again, bend those knees. And then find that little windshield wiper effect. Just go very slow. Grunting and groaning is totally acceptable. And then when you get to have that right leg up front again, and that right leg comes to the, you come to the right side. You're going to bring yourself into that little deer pose. Lengthening yourself up. You might notice a few little different sensations on the side. And again, so if you don't quite feel that sensation in that back hip, you can just kind of slide that knee away. And then I press into my hands, and then you kind of lift and draw the front hip away. So you're kind of pulling them apart a little bit. And then sitting up. Again, you might feel it on the top part of your hip. You might feel it underneath. You might even be feeling it on the bottom. It depends on your body. You're all different. Lots of targeting. And from here, you're going to start to take the middle of your chest toward the middle of that front knee and start to lengthen it forward. Lengthen it forward. There shouldn't be any pressure on the knee, but that front hip's going to get a little action, maybe even the back hip. And maybe your elbows are on a block, maybe they're on the floor, maybe you're on your hands. Whatever's going to best support you here. You can just kind of settle in. Find some heaviness in the pelvis. Focus on that energy of those root and sacral chakras, that first and second. Maybe feeling that energy flow of the meridians along the body. About a minute here in this pose, finding some stillness. If it feels okay, see how it is to drop that chin all the way down to your chest. Let that neck relax. A full inhale here. Let it go. Slowly start to bring yourself back up to your hands. And then sliding that front leg in first. And again, if this is ever too much pressure on the knee, you can stay in that other position. And then start to extend the back leg back, rolling yourself over onto that shin. And then so that front heel is pressing into the opposite hip. And then maybe lengthen forward. Maybe to blocks, elbows, maybe lengthen all the way forward. Maybe your head likes to rest on something. And see if you can relax your body. Let your toes relax, your shoulders relax, let your spine just kind of sink toward the floor into this sleeping swan. Noticing those sensations that are happening in that front leg. Notice how those sensations change as your breath changes. Take a moment to relax the jaw, maybe give the bottom bone a little wiggle. Let the tongue be soft. another minute here. Just taking a full inhale here. And let it go. Slowly and mindfully bring yourself back to those hands. And as you do, roll to that right side and then slowly bring the back leg forward. That front leg, bend it up. Come to that little tuck position, resting your forehead on your knees, rounding forward. And slowly start to lift your head, reach those legs out long, pausing there. And taking any motions you might need to let go. And from here, we're going to come into long-legged butterfly. We're going to draw the soles of our feet toward one another. We start to lean forward. And then if you need support under your knees, you have your blocks there. If you want support under your head, you have the block there. You're just going to start to round forward. Draw the belly in, rounding forward. Forehead's going to drop down or chin to chest. A little bit more target of the spine if your chin draws in. The long-legged butterfly here. It's a very grounding position. And once again, targeting first and second chakras. Targeting the gallbladder and the urinary bladder, as well as the kidney and the liver. A lot of target in the spine if you allow yourself to round. Allowing your forehead to be supported by something, whether it be your fist, your blocks, or your feet. Just allow that extra sense of grounding and tapping into that sixth chakra, that third eye chakra. Just kind of allows you to be a little bit more present in the body, present with your surroundings. So one more minute here. Full inhale here. Let it go. Coming up nice and slow. See if you can stack your spine into place. Let your head be the last one to lift. From here, mindfully, you're going to take one leg at a time out to the side. We're coming into dragonfly. So butterfly, dragonfly. And if it's too much for full dragonfly, keep one leg in. This is really going to target the liver meridian here on that inner thigh. So again, you can stay upright. This feels like where you want to be. If you want to round the spine and start to bring yourself forward, maybe bring yourself onto those blocks. Maybe your elbows. If you have a little bit more range of motion, maybe bring your chest down, your arms come down. This depends on how those hips are feeling. And then just kind of notice, I know a lot of times in this pose, I tend to grip and I flex my feet. So you can let your legs relax. Maybe even those toes drop in or drop out a little bit, depending on how your hips are set in with that femur bone. Settle in here. For me, this pose takes a few deep breaths to help me let go of that muscle energy. I like to grip here a lot. So this pose, we're definitely targeting the spine, the hips. The first and second chakras are still being stimulated. Nourished. The meridians, so the urinary bladder, the liver, the kidneys, the spleen. Be in this pose for another 2 minutes. A little longer here. Notice that edge dissipate. Allowing yourself to move forward without engaging the muscles. Allowing yourself here to have that spine round a little bit more. Maybe that chin drops a little bit more to the chest. Shoulders soften. We have 1 more minute here. And let it go. Mindfully, once again, bring yourself up. See if you can let that head be the last thing to rise. Pause there for a moment. Notice the sensations. Allowing yourself to grab on the inside of those knees for a little support. Just draw those knees up and then slide them in. Into that little top position once again, rounding forward a little bit, releasing that sensation in the legs that we've had with the straight. Slowly transition onto your back. Bring your blocks with you and share one of the bigger blocks with them. That way it's going to be more comfortable for everybody. You're going to take that block, lay down first and feel that sensation. Find a little mini shavasana for a moment. Let everything stretch out. You've had those hips in that little flex position for a very long time. Feel that energy at the top of the thigh, into the low back. Feeling that support of the spine on the ground. And so we're going to counterbalance all of that flexion of our hips with a little bit of extension. So we're going to place that block either on the lowest level or that mid level. If you feel nothing with the mid level, you could go to the high level. Just be mindful of the low back. You're going to bend the knees, slide that block underneath the sacrum, a little bit closer toward your sit bones, so toward your booty rather than toward your mid back. So it's a little bit more toward the end because you're going to have some options with your leg. So once you're here, just kind of pause and just kind of notice how this feels. Maybe make your feet a little bit wider, a little narrower, just so your legs can kind of relax. Feel the support of your upper back on the ground. And so you can stay here if this is feeling good and this is where you want to be. You feel all the right feels. Otherwise, maybe you start to straighten one leg at a time onto the ground. So the heel's on the ground and your legs are straight. This is going to be a lot more stress in the low back. So be mindful of that if you want to really just kind of let go. But you're really finding a little bit more of that counterbalance for the front of the body. You're really opening up all of those meridians that we've been constricting. We're finding a little bit more expansion in them. Let that energy flow. Notice where you might be gripping any tension. See if you can let it go. So in this supported bridge, whether your legs are bent or straight, you're nourishing all the chakras. You're taking that energy that we've built and nourished from the first and second chakra. And you're allowing them to travel and stimulate and nourish all the others, all the way up from 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Stimulating pretty much most of the meridians. The only ones we are not stimulating are the heart and the lungs. If you feel that the heart and the lung meridians are feeling a little less balanced, you can take your arms and widen them out away from you so that you move your arms kind of like a T if that feels comfortable. That's just going to stimulate those a little bit. If you want more sensation, those arms can come back up overhead toward behind you on the floor. And that's just going to stimulate those two meridians a little bit more. If that's too much in the low back or the shoulders, keep the arms where they were. About 1 more minute here. Anytime the sensation becomes too much, if you find yourself going over your edge into that pain, bring yourself back a little bit. where you're just in that area of discomfort. Taking a full inhale here. And let it go. If your arms are stretched out or overhead, bring them back toward your side. If your legs are extended, slowly start to bend into the soles of the feet on the ground. If you're on the highest level, drop it to the mid-level. If you're on the mid-level, drop that block to the lowest level and pause. Slowly bringing those hips back down. Notice the sensation. And if you're on that mid height, drop it to the lowest height. If you're on the lowest height, remove the block completely. Let those hips drop down. Notice those sensations in the body. If your body's on that mid or that lowest height, bring it all the way off if you haven't already. Allow yourself to notice the sensations in the spine, the hips. Noticing the front side of your body, back side of your body. And then slowly start to lengthen those legs out. Lengthening them out. Just let everything relax for a moment. And if it feels good to stay here, if Shavasana is already kind of settling in, allow yourself to stay here. If you feel like you need a little bit of a relief from that previous pose, maybe a windshield wiper, maybe a hug of the knees, maybe a happy baby, allow yourself to do that before you find that Shavasana, that resting position, that restorative position. Because most of the practice has been more of a restorative position, a little bit shorter in Shavasana, maybe about 2 or 3 minutes. Just allow yourself to find a place where you can find stillness, where your body can feel supported by the earth. We can really start to bring that awareness to the energy that's flowing through the body. Notice how the breath affects that energy. Allow yourself to drop more and more into the present. And allow yourself to surrender. I'll bring you out of Shavasana with 3 bells. Okay. Allow that next breath to go a little bit deeper. On that next breath, start to bring some movement into the fingers, toes, wrists, and ankles. On your next breath, reach your arms back behind your head, slide your feet together, give yourself a long stretch from fingers to toes. And then bend the knees. Draw the knees into the chest, give them a lift. And then when you're ready, rolling yourself over onto your favorite side tonight. Pausing there. Use that arm as a pillow. Allow yourself to check in mentally, physically, emotionally. And using the support of your arms, slowly bring yourself all the way up to seated. Take a comfortable seat. Once you're there in that comfortable seat, allow your eyes to close. Allow your hands to rest on your thighs, either up and down. Just pause for a minute of silence here, just noticing what you notice in your body. Allowing your hands to come to your heart center, whether it's palms pressing together, one hand to the heart, one hand to that low belly. Just checking in, noticing the strength, the energy, the breath of the practice. Hopefully feeling yourself a little bit more grounded, a little bit more balanced and aware of what's happening in your body and mind. Allow that calm of this practice to carry you off your mat into your breathing ahead. Feel the practice in, and over a sigh of breath. Exhale fully here. Inhale. Bow your head slightly. Taking a moment to the one thing in your life you truly are grateful for. And hold on to that image in your mind. Thank you for being here. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you at home for being here.